So this definitely is not my favorite type of live to do because it's reading a handwritten letter, which sometimes is so hard because not everybody has great handwriting. So bear with me if there's mistakes. I will try to read it as accurately as I can. But we are going to be reading through Lori Vallow's handwritten letter, trying to get something dismissed. So we'll find out what it is together. If you haven't already seen this, I haven't. Yes, I know that her name is not technically Lori Vallow Daybell. I always include it in my title because a lot of people still search for that name. And she signs her name Lori Daybell, but she was arrested so fast after getting married that she didn't legally have time to change it. So I know it's not really it, but that's how we're doing it. So I'm going to minimize myself and we're going to start going over her handwritten letter. So many people have written me discussing how it reminds them of Sarah Boone and all of Sarah Boone's handwritten letters. We'll see if we think it's comparable or not. But if you don't know, she's having her second trial right now in Arizona for the death of her fourth husband. I forgot that she was married 4 times. So Chad Daybell was her 5th husband, which is very surprising. That's a lot. But yeah, he was killed by, he was shot and then ended up succumbing to his wounds. And it is alleged that Lori's brother, Alex Cox, did it. And he has since died of natural causes. The day that they announced that they were going to be looking into Lori and actually going through all the different things to try to convict her of this crime, he died of a blood clot from high pressure. I don't know if that's because maybe he received word that day and he was afraid and it caused all this issues. Who knows? Complete speculation, but he's not involved since he's passed away. Lori, in her trial in Utah, she wanted to represent herself so badly. And her lawyers ended up they're allowed to say that she's not reasonably able to represent herself. And it sounds like that's the route they did. She really wanted to, and they thought that she would hurt her case. And so they said that, so she wasn't allowed to. She is representing herself in this Arizona one. So this motion for dismissal is coming from her because she is representing herself. Now, she does still have some lawyers that she's going and using. Although she's representing herself, she's definitely leaning on the counsel of this defense attorney. I forget her name, but she definitely paved the way for Lori to be able to do this on her own, but she's still using her. All right, we're going to get into this letter. It's not super long. I have it on my other computer, so I'm looking over here. But it says, once again, the state of Arizona versus Lori Daybell. That's her handwriting. That's how she signs her last name. The defendant, Lori Daybell, has requested this court to dismiss case, list the case number, with prejudice. Facts number 1. The defendant was extradited from Idaho on November 30th, 2025 to Arizona. Number 2, the defendant was arraigned for 2 separate charges on December 7th, 2023. Number 3, let me see if I can move this up for you guys. Maybe I won't be able to. There we go. That's a little bit better. Number 3, trial was set at the time for, this is what I'm saying, some of the handwriting is just awful. Speedy trial on April 1st, 2024. Speedy trial to commence within 150 days. Number 4, the judge was deemed The judge deemed that these charges complex, which was given the state 270 days. The defendant, and it basically saying that she it waived away the rights of her speedy trial and that it's not fair. That's what she's trying to say for this. Number 5, the new trial date was set for August 1st, 2024, with the last possible day to begin September 2nd, 2024. Still going on about 270 days. The former defense team filed a motion for continuance, which the defendant objected against. So that's interesting because that was her defense lawyer that she was going against, saying that she didn't want that to happen. They did it anyway before she was able to take over and become her own lawyer. Rule number 1 was also filed by the former defense team, further delaying the trial and new trial date of March 31st, 2025. Now, let's see. On January 10th, 2025, the judge declined to set a trial date on this case. The trial date that is set on March 31st, 2025 is for the case number only. So she's mad that both of them are not moving forward. She wants it to be timely. She wants to get it over with. She is already in prison for the rest of her life, being found guilty of killing her 2 children. So I'm surprised that she is so wanting to push a speedy trial, because it's not like she's going anywhere. This will be her last time of traveling. She's in there for life. It is the position of this defense that no trial date has ever been set for this case number. The alleged crime is over 5 years ago. The state of Arizona has plenty of time to figure that out, and no time has the state ever been willing to combine these 2 charges into trial. Okay, yeah, so continuing to be upset that they're not being combined to make it speedy. Therefore, why did they not schedule the second trial at the arraignment? Why did the state again against the defendant for both cases on the same day, knowing that they could not provide 2 separate speedy trials? So far, I don't think this is Sarah Boone-esque. I mean, yes, writing and putting in the motion, but that's how anybody would be if they're representing themselves. Although I think the speedy trial in itself is something that Sarah argued, so I guess that is a little bit like her. By March 31st, 2025, it will have been 394 days since the defendant was arraigned. The defendant has never waived her rights to a speedy trial. The 6th Amendment declares, and she has that underlined, in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial. In the state of Arizona, the designated speedy trial is to be within 150 days. So she's restating. Let me go down. The only remedy to the violation of this defendant constitutional rights to a speedy trial is to dismiss the case with prejudice. And no time has a trial been given for the case number. At no trial has and no time has a trial ever been scheduled for the same case number. The defendant's constitutional rights have been violated. The government must follow its own rules. Let's see if there's anything else. All right. So last page, and we read part of it just now at the top about the speedy trial, but yeah, it's ending on saying they need to follow their own rules. She dates it January 8th, 2025, Vallow Daybell. It's going to be interesting to see what the judge's response back is to this. Once again, I'm surprised she's doing it. She's in jail or prison for the rest of her life. So I don't know why she wants to push a speedy trial, but it is her constitutional right. So it'll be interesting to see what the judge has to say back. But I think the fact that she had the defense attorney and then went and became her own attorney, I could see why that would make things get pushed back. I mean, much like Sarah Boone's trial, that was pushed so far back so many times because of all the different attorney changes. So unfortunately, her making this change to become her own does allow them to push it back. And she may not like it, but they're allowed to. Now, they wouldn't continue to do it. At some point, the judge would have had enough and say, no, we're moving forward. This has been ridiculous. So we'll see if he is going to say what I'm saying, that it's fair and it's fine for the moment. But I definitely don't think it's been long enough that she's been in Arizona waiting for this trial to start. I don't think that he's going to go for that it should be dropped at this point. And considering that Tammy Daybell died and Chad Daybell was found guilty of the children's murders and somehow being a part of Tammy Daybell's death, she looks very guilty, Lori does, for her ex-husband. And she is the only one to really be held accountable for it since, once again, Alex died. So I think the judge is going to let it continue. He's not going to go along with the fact that she needs to have this dismissed. I don't see that happening. But I have not seen any comment on this. So I'll be watching this week. If they end up doing a reply, we'll go back onto the state's website. So I'll be watching. I will keep you informed as always. And I am going to be off of here for now. I did a live all day today on a trial that, if you were watching, it was very slow. It was frustrating. And then I had this to do like 30 minutes later. So I'm going to take a break, but I am coming back on for a live later to discuss another trial that's been going on. It just started today. So we'll play catch up with that, and we'll probably be tuning into that the rest of this week. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you later.